We respectfully acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the land in which this video was filmed.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kinsella. I'm a proud Jawoyn and Wiradjuri woman, a supply diversity expert and published author. Welcome to Meet the Mob, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing Black excellence in business. Here I get to interview deadly First Nation business owners from across the country and learn all about their why. Today I'm joined by Adam Goodes of the Indigenous Defence and Infrastructure Consortium, iDiC, who will share with us his why he's got into business and why he does what he does. How you going, Adam?
Good, Crystal. How are you?
Yeah, great. Well, first of all, let's kick it off with, who's your mob? Where are you from?
Yeah, so my mum, she's a very proud Adnyamathanha and Narungga woman over in South Australia. So Adnyamathanha meaning rock people, so up from the Flinders Ranges, and Narungga is the Yorke Peninsula mob. So where mum was born on Point Pearce Mission, that's where our mob's from. And then on my father's side, he gave me all the awesome Irish, Scottish, English and Prussian ancestry. So like a lot of us Aussie, bits of this and bits of that.
Bits of that, yeah. Look, I've got a bit of Sri Lankan and German, so I get that, yeah. Look, let's just start with a really broad one, and I think, Simon Sinek says that, let's start with why. What's your why? Because you're doing lots of things, but there's something that gets you out of bed every day. What is that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is, I didn't always know about my Indigenous ancestry. I always knew I was Aboriginal. I didn't know how I was connected to it. Yeah. So my why and why I do all the things I do is it's all about taking control back for ourselves, to neglect the welfare dependency that a lot of our mob have been on for many years, to showcase what we're good at, what we can achieve and what we can do when we really believe that we can do something. And more importantly, using the power that we generate as Indigenous leaders through the hard work that we put in, but use that power for good, to help uplift our other people in our communities. And for me now, as a father of two, soon to be three, I got to create a better environment for my kids. I got to create hopefully a legacy for them to follow in my footsteps. My mum, she was a stay-at-home mum. Before that, my nan and pop, they were on the mission. Mum was born on the mission. My ancestors have been on that same mission for nearly 200 years. They've been forcibly removed onto that mission. So, we're finally now starting this period in 2023. Starting our own businesses, creating a bit of wealth for our own mob, and hopefully, like I said before, creating a bit of a legacy through entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So talk to us about the iDiC. Like, what is it? Some people have said, is this a business? Are they a stakeholder to the sector? Like, if someone out there wanted to know what the iDiC does, could you tell us that in a snapshot?
Yeah, definitely. So our vision is to break the back of poverty through Indigenous entrepreneurship, through sustainable businesses. We've got about 135 Indigenous businesses, part of a consortium. I invite those businesses personally based upon their, couple of things that I need to see in that business, and that is then they meet Supply Nation certification model, so that's 51% or greater Indigenous ownership by Indigenous person or persons. That's really important for me. But take it one step further. I need to see management and control by those brothers and sisters in those businesses, because they're the ones that are going to make the decisions on what they do with their money, the decisions on the direction of their business. And that's really important. So when I'm putting those businesses in front of the strategic clients that we partner with, hand on heart, I know that business, when they make money, they're going to choose on what they want to do with that money. And 9 times out of 10, our mob always providing more opportunities for our people or putting it back into the communities where they come from.
Yeah. So the model of it is really beneficial from both the buyer and supplier side, because you're working with some of the largest Australian defence industry organisations, and then you're also there being able to lift the capability of Indigenous businesses and provide that kind of safety net where risk has been managed on both sides.
Yeah, so the 4 directors of iDiC, there's myself and Michael McLeod, he's our chair. as the majority Indigenous owners, and we also have George Mifsud and Doug Russell. People might know Doug Russell and Michael McLeod as the co-founders of Supply Nation and Amnesty back in the day. And for me, partnering with these incredible business people, I don't have an MBA, I didn't go to university, but they've given me a great insight into how to do business. And what we wanted to do when we created the business was really an extra service that Supply Nation doesn't offer, and that is to build capability of Indigenous businesses through contracts. And help them at the negotiation table with big business. So we see it as a great opportunity to build capability, especially in the defence and infrastructure space for our Indigenous businesses, but more importantly, bring them contracts. That's how we really build capability. It's not through opious amounts of training. It's actually through out there doing the work and building that capability and building some wealth from that. We also love it, our clients love it from the other end, is that they've got that one place that they can come to get over 135 Indigenous businesses or access to that. So iDiC, our model is very simple. We will own the contract and the relationship. We then subcontract that work out to our Indigenous businesses. So we're a supply chain aggregator, if you like, master contractor, all those types of things that we could provide for the client. Where they have one Indigenous business to engage, we give them access to an incredible supply chain of pretty much over 550 different Indigenous services now.
That's fantastic. I mean, I'm a Consortium partner myself, and so I know firsthand what it's like to have benefited from those opportunities to work with some of your partner organisations. So it's been really great.
Yeah, look, and just to call a shout out on some of those clients, and in these agreements that we have, I signed the contract with the CEOs of those corporates like BAE, Boeing, Fujitsu, Arup, CH Robinson. We also have infrastructure firms here in Sydney like Roberts Co. And they're all signing up to agreements of spend with Indigenous businesses, helping them build their reconciliation action plan, their Indigenous procurement policies, their Indigenous engagement policies. So we really focus on them at the ground level up. So we build that foundation with them so that if our business isn't here tomorrow, at least we're setting them up to work with our mob safely, respectfully, and hopefully with enough vigour that actually makes a difference.
Most definitely. Now you said you surround yourself with these great business people. You don't have an MBA yourself. Now it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the fact that you are an AFL legend. Sometimes it's seen as a little cliche where we're seeing sporting legends head into the business world. What do you say to that?
Oh, look, what I do say to that is it's such a safe space for our people, whether they're sports people or not. If you're out there thinking, should I start a business and you're a black fella, then just go and do it. There's so much opportunity. There's incredible support for you to do so. But more importantly, why not be your own boss? For 18 years as a professional athlete, I was told by my football club, by the league, what to do, what to wear, where to be. It was life-changing for me at 35 to step outside of that industry and go, wow, what do I actually want to do now? And I didn't know I wanted to start a business. I didn't know that it was going to be the business that I'm running at the moment. But when I started it and I saw all the different ways that I could plug in Indigenous people and businesses along what I was trying to do in the vision, I was just like, wow, this is exciting. And 7 years later, we're still doing it. The business is growing really well. We're employed 9 out of our 10 employees are other Indigenous people. We've had a handful of people that have come to the business and then gone on to bigger and better things. That's, for me, is progress. I don't want these young people coming to our business, staying for 20 years. I want them to come 2 or 3 years, build capability, build confidence, and then go off out into the world and do their own thing.
No, that's pretty incredible. So, what next then? What does the future hold? 7 years? Of iDiC, I didn't even realise it was that long.
It goes fast.
Definitely. Well, what's the future hold? Where do you see? I mean, particularly if we look at the sector as a whole and sort of the growth of the sector over the last 12 years. Where do you think we're heading, and where do you think iDiC is heading?
Look, I think it's just a drop in the ocean, the Indigenous procurement spend, especially from a federal and state government point of view. It is only going to get bigger and better. And I think from our point of view as Indigenous people, and more importantly Indigenous business owners, we've got to keep growing our capability. We've got to keep upskilling our mob. We've got to keep bringing our people along for the journey, because that opportunity is only going to get bigger and better. and the more educated people and more capable people and the more experienced our people are in working in these spaces, that's a career for life. And then we're starting to talk legacy. They can start their own businesses that they can pass on to their family members. Like that to me is generational change. It's generational wealth that we can start to talk about. You know, my mum died last year. She didn't leave us a cent. She left us some debt. You know, that's a very familiar story for a lot of our mob. I'm going to be able to leave something for my kids. Hopefully they're going to be able to, you know, use that to then better their lives and then make sure that their children are in a better space than what they are and have been in.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about legacy, sort of opened in that way around leaving this legacy for your kids. If there's one thing that you want to be remembered for in the business world or in this business space, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing for me is how am I uplifting and helping my mob around me? You know, the Indigenous businesses that we're helping build capability, who we're helping win contracts with. How are we helping the people who are engaging the Indigenous business sector? So those corporates, how are we helping them with cultural awareness sessions? How are we helping them with, you know, conversations that they don't normally have in their day job, like conversations right now about the voice, you know, the yes or no vote, and laying the facts of both sides to them. You know, it's no point just saying, I think you should vote yes for this. It's actually about giving them all the information to make the informed decision that they can make. But for me, hopefully my legacy, especially in the business sector, is one that people go, wow, you know, he ran a very successful business, but handed that on to someone to do bigger and better things with. And that for me, you know, I'm not greedy, not driven by ego, but I am driven by change. I want to create change for our people. And you know what? The Indigenous business sector is giving us the greatest opportunity to be in control of our own change and destiny, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and you've opened heaps of doors for everybody. So, I mean, that's a real testament.
It's a good start.
It is, definitely. So, look, have you got any kind of final message for my audience today that you might want to share?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think you know, this opportunity, thank you for bringing me on, and love the work that you're doing, Crystal. Been an incredible supporter. You know, every time I went to a Supply Nation event, you were winning all the awards. So, you know, it'd be nice to let somebody else win those awards for a change. But I think for me, there's just no excuses anymore for us. Let's start to educate and grab each other by the hand and pull each other up off the ground and say, look, let's go get some capability. Let's partner with people. Let's partner with other blackfellas too. You know, I think that's really important that we can start to partner with each other to create business opportunities, which I'm seeing quite a lot. I'm excited by, but the time is now for us to, you know, really take advantage of what's in front of us. If there is anything that my business can help you out with at iDiC, please make a phone call. Hit us up on the website. We'd love to help you on your journey, whether it's at the very beginning or, you know, if you're a well-established business and you want to, you know, tap into some of the suppliers and clients that we have.
Oh, thanks so much, Adam, for being on my program.
Thanks.
So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the latest episode of Meet the Mob. Make sure you connect with Adam and share his story with your networks. Until next time.